How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid. I've been getting a lot of questions. Dre, we need to get that update video. Did you see the price action on the Friday? And I was telling you guys this. Once we broke through that 200-day moving average, we are going to see some weakness in this stock. So over this coming week, I'm going to make sure I got you guys back so you have some sort of a strategy. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. The reason why that's important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to take a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $27.15, being down 5.40%. On the low, it tested $25.63, and then on the high, testing $28.43. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 66.78 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 44.23 million shares. So one thing we noticed right away, we did have above average volume on the day, but it did deal with a good amount of selling pressure. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below being at 27.96. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 50-day, the 21-day EMA, the 100-day, and we also did break through the 200-day. So one of the things that you're going to want to pay attention to, and which is a strong possibility that it will happen this week, is Lucid dropping below the $25 level. It has shown to have some area of support here, especially right here around this $24.50 range. So this is something you're going to want to keep a very close eye on. And if we actually break through that, then of course we can see the stock really getting closer to the $20 level. But again, I only see this if we continue to see a strong amount of weakness inside of the market. Another point that I want to bring up as well, if we end up actually reversing and it begins to start looking bullish, then you want to see price action above the 200-day, which is right around $28.92, and then making that move to the $30 level. Most preferably, you want to see some consolidation here and some support building up, and then see if we can make that move to $32.50. We know this is a very crucial area, and things can get interesting, especially if it's able to reclaim around 35, or we could say right around the 100-day, around $35.35. But for the most part, I could see this 200-day forming as a resistance point for Lucid. So price action getting there and then being rejected. And if we do get that, that's what I'm saying. There's a good amount of downside pressure there. So let's see how it performs for the coming week. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Lucid. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. We have Blackstone Group Inc. that purchased just over 8.38 million shares. We also have closed position from Exane Derivatives and as well as RPG Investment Advisory. We also have 10 Capital Wealth Advisors LLC that purchased 82 shares. And also we have closed positions from Ironwood Financial LLC and as well as OTA Financial Group LP. Going down further, we see Goldman Sachs Market Beta that purchased 6,011 shares. We also have Financial Management Professionals that purchased 1,000 shares. And then as far as for the 27th, we've already covered, but we have ONIF and as well as Goku that purchased just over 1,131 shares and as well as 2,790 respectively. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the dark pool short volume ratio is at 51.23%, and then for the dark pool short volume, it is just over 16.28 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 300,000, updated 5 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 14.40%. So it has gone down. And then when we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for the 27th, it was at 57.36, and then for the close of the 28th for the Friday that just passed, it's at 50. 51.23. So one thing that remains clear, Lucid does continue to have short squeeze potential because there's many shorts who are vested in this play. So this is why when you see a surge in buying pressure, you can see some strong moves to the upside. But if you have lower volume and there's a lot of selling going on, of course we're going to have a breakdown in the stock like we have been seeing as of late. So now let's move on to the order flow distribution.
Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So we see here on the inflow, it was at 349, and then on the outflows at 281. So we had an inflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown on the large, it was 13.95. On the medium, it was 150, and then on the small, it was 186. Taking a look at the outflow side on the large, it was 1.85. On the medium, it was 118, and then on the small, it was 161. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, we could see for January the 28th, it was at 12.1 million being an inflow. And we've seen this for 4 trading days out of 5. And now when we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, or funds, it was 13.95 million versus 1.85 million. So a big difference right there. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 4.06%. So it is staying consistent. But one thing to be aware, there are many who are holding on to their positions, and there are also many who are continuing to buy up. And we're seeing this on the institutional side, and we're seeing it on the retail side. So for this coming week, if we see some market strength, could Lucid end up recovering? Hey, we're going to have to find out. We'll talk about it further in the final thoughts. Let's get into it right now. So for my final thoughts for Lucid in regards to the price action, we ended up breaking through the 200-day moving average, and right now it is going to be serving as a resistance area. So what is this around? This is around $29. If it breaks through $29, then the next level you guys should know about is it seeing if it could reach around $32.50. If it is unable to do this and $29 ends up being its resistance, don't be surprised if we break through the $25 level. An area you want to keep an eye on is around $24.70 or around $24.50. So again, this is going to be dependent on market conditions. We also can't forget the fact when Tesla ended up releasing their earnings, of course they had a massive pullback, and this did have an impact on the EV sector as a whole, especially for Lucid. But one thing that we did see in the after hours on Friday, it was picking up a bit, even though it was only up like around 31 cents. This is something you want to keep an eye on because we know how this stock could actually move, and we do know there's a lot of demand inside of the market. But for the most part, I would play off that price action, pay attention to those levels, and come up with a strategy that works best for you. Also, going on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential. So this is why the moment you have more volume and buying pressure coming into the stock, we could see some moves to the upside. But if we end up not having the volume that we are looking for, and there's selling pressure due to the fact that, you know what, it's been weak, it has been downtrending, then of course we could see that pullback going into that $24 range. Of course, I keep you guys updated daily on Lucid, so I'll let you know what would be the further plan of action from there. But of course, this is not financial advice. This is just a game plan that I share with you, so you do your homework, you do your due diligence, and you figure out something that is right for you. Also, for a lot of my long-term investors out there that are looking to have a position in Lucid, or maybe you have a position already, I would continue to be patient. They do have earnings that's supposed to be coming up in March, and I would want to see, hey, how well did they do? And the reason why this is important, because if they don't do well or they disappoint, you'll see an even bigger pullback and seeing this stock going below $20. So this is why I say, let them prove themselves. Let them show you why they deserve to have your money. You need to make sure whatever company you decide to invest in, they are earning that money. You're just not throwing that cash to them so they can go to work with it and not give you the results that you're looking for as a shareholder. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how this stock performs for the coming week.